Job chapter 26. Then Job said, "Dude, how exactly have you helped someone who's totally powerless? Like, how are you saving the weak with that speech? And your advice, bro, who even needed that? You're giving wisdom to someone who already knows the vibe. Who are you even talking for? Anyway, whose spirit are you channeling? Even the ghosts down under the ocean know what's up. All those deep-sea dwellers tremble before him. The realm of the dead is totally naked before him. There's no hiding, no cover-ups down there. He straight up stretches out the northern sky over the emptiness and hangs the earth on nothing, just floating in space. Wild. He loads up the sky with massive clouds, but they don't even tear open under all that water weight. He hides the face of his throne, wrapping it in clouds like divine mystery mode. He drew a circle around the oceans, setting the boundary between light and dark, the ultimate horizon line. Even the pillars of heaven freak out when he rebukes them. They literally shake in awe. With his power, he sliced through the sea, and by his understanding, he crushed the pride of the mighty. His spirit painted the heavens with beauty, and his hand shaped that twisting cosmic serpent across the sky. But this is just a tiny sample of what he can do. We only hear whispers of his greatness. The thunder of his power, no one can even handle it. Job chapter 27. So Job kept going with his story and said, "As surely as God lives, the one who's totally messed up my vibe and shaken my soul, as long as I'm still breathing and the Spirit of God's running through my lungs, I'm not going to say anything shady or let my tongue spit out lies. No way am I ever going to say you guys are right about me. I'll hold on to my integrity till my dying breath. My righteousness, I'm hanging on to that tight. My heart's not going to turn against me while I'm alive. Anyone who's against me, may they end up like the wicked, and the ones who hate on me like the unrighteous." 'Cause seriously, what hope does a fake person have when God comes to collect their soul? You think God's gonna pick up their call when the trouble hits? Nah, he's not answering that line. Does that kind of person even vibe with the Almighty? Do they actually talk to him for real? Listen up, I'm gonna drop some divine knowledge here. I'm not holding back what's really going down with God. You guys have seen how this all plays out, right? So why are you still acting like totally clueless? Here's the deal. This is what a wicked dude gets from God, the kind of legacy oppressors inherit from the Almighty. If they have a ton of kids, it's just so more of them can fall by the sword. Their little ones won't even have enough bread to eat. The leftovers of his family, they'll be buried, and no one's gonna cry for them. Not even their widows. Sure, he might pile up silver like beach sand and stack clothes like clay pots. But it's pointless, 'cause the righteous will wear those threads, and the innocent will split that cash. His fancy house, it's like a moth cocoon, super fragile, or like a shack a guard builds just for the season. He crashes out rich, but when he opens his eyes again, poof, he's gone. Terror hits him like a tidal wave. A raging storm drags him off in the middle of the night. The east wind picks him up and tosses him away. Like, see ya, dude, completely uprooted. God hurls his power at him without mercy, and he's like totally desperate to escape, but there's no way out. People clap when he's gone and hiss him off the stage, 'cause that's what happens when wickedness wipes out your vibe. Job chapter 28. So people totally know where to find silver veins and spots to refine gold. They dig iron right out of the dirt and melt bronze straight from stone. Hardcore. They push back the darkness, exploring deep into the earth to uncover all kinds of perfection, even the shadowy stones of death's domain. They tunnel through where no one lives, cutting into places even the flood forgot. Waters that humans totally don't even see anymore. The earth grows bread up top, but underneath, it's fire and heat, baby. The rocks sparkle with sapphires, and the dust is literally gold. Total treasure zone. And get this, no bird knows that trail, not even a vulture with its eagle-eye zoom. Lions and their cubs? Nope, they've never set paw there either. Humans reach into mountains with their bare hands, flipping the peaks upside down from the roots like, whoa. They carve rivers through the rocks, and their eyes spot every hidden gem like a pro miner. They even block the floodwaters and bring secret things into the light, literally pulling mysteries from the dark. But where do you even find wisdom? And where's the hangout spot for real understanding? Humans have no clue what it's worth. You can't just grab it from some shop in the land of the living. The ocean's like, dude, it's not in me. And the deep's like, nope, not hiding here either. You can't buy it with gold, and no amount of silver's gonna cover the tab. Even the fancy gold from Ophir or those onyx and sapphire gems. Nah, not even close. Gold and crystal can't compare, and you can't trade it for those bougie fine gold jewels. Forget coral and pearls. Wisdom's worth way more than a mountain of rubies. Even topaz from Ethiopia doesn't measure up. Pure gold? Still not enough. So where does wisdom come from? And where's that place where understanding hangs out? It's totally hidden from everyone alive. Even the birds flying high can't spot it. Destruction and death are like, we've heard about it, but can't say we've seen it ourselves. Only God knows the route to it. He's got the coordinates, the full map, the secret spot. See, God looks all the way to the ends of the earth, like he's got total 360-degree sky vision, seeing everything under heaven. He's the one who decided how heavy the wind should be and measured out the oceans like, okay, perfect balance, dude. He made the rules for the rain and mapped out the path for lightning to totally vibe with the thunder. Then he saw wisdom itself, announced it, mapped it, studied it. Full divine blueprint, totally dialed in. And he told humanity straight up, hey, listen, respecting the Lord? That's real wisdom. And steering clear of evil? That's legit understanding. Job chapter 29. So Job kept going with his story, saying, man, I totally wish I could go back to the good old days when God had my back and kept me safe. Like, his light used to shine right over my head. I could cruise through any darkness because he lit the way. Back in my younger days, when God's secret favor totally covered my home. When the Almighty was chillin' with me and my kids were all around, good vibes everywhere. It was like I was washing my steps in butter, and rocks literally poured out rivers of oil. Yeah, life was that smooth. When I rolled up to the city gate, everyone noticed. I'd set up my spot in the street like, yeah, the boss has arrived. The young dudes would see me coming and just back off, and the older guys, they'd stand up out of total respect. Even the princes stopped mid-sentence, covering their mouths like, whoa, Job's talking. The nobles went silent, tongues stuck to the roof of their mouths. Nobody dared interrupt. Whenever people heard me, they blessed me. Whenever they saw me, they were like, that guy's legit. 'Cause I helped out the poor when they cried for help. The orphans, too, when nobody else had their back. People who were about to lose everything would bless me, and I'd make widows break out into happy songs, like pure joy vibes. I wore righteousness like my favorite outfit, totally wrapped in it, and my sense of justice sparkled like a crown. I was the eyes for the blind and the feet for those who couldn't walk, Basically, the human version of accessibility and compassion. I was like a dad to the poor, and when something shady went down that I didn't understand, I dug into it till I figured it out. I'd straight up break the jaws of the wicked and yank their stolen goods right out of their teeth. Justice served, dude. I used to tell myself, I'll go out peacefully in my cozy nest, live long, like sand that never runs out. My roots were always chillin' by the water, and the dew made my branches sparkle overnight. Total serenity. My glory felt fresh every day, and my strength was like a brand new bow ready to fire. Everyone tuned in when I spoke. They'd wait quietly, soaking up every word I dropped. After I finished talking, nobody added a thing. My words hit deep, like gentle rain on thirsty ground. They'd look forward to hearing me, like farmers waiting for that late rain, totally hanging on every drop. When I smiled, it blew their minds. They couldn't even stay sat around me. My vibe just lifted the whole room. I guided them like a king with his crew, leading with peace and confidence, comforting people who were down, keeping hope alive. Job chapter 30. But now, the younger crowd totally mocks me. Dudes whose dads I wouldn't have even trusted to hang out with my sheepdogs. Like, what could their strength even do for me? They're washed up. Their best years are long gone. They wander the wastelands starving, scrounging around in the barren wild where no one wants to be. They pick weeds for food and chew on scrub roots like it's some sad salad special. People chase them off like criminals, yelling after them like, "Get out of here, thieves!" So they end up hiding out in canyon cracks, living in caves and rocky pits. They grunt among the bushes and huddle under nettles just to stay alive. They're the offspring of fools, total nobodies, the lowest of the low, like dust underfoot. And now, I'm their joke, their meme, their punchline, the name they use when they want to mock somebody. They can't stand me. They keep their distance. And when they see me, they spit right in my face. It's like God untied my bowstring and left me powerless. So now these clowns feel bold enough to throw off all restraint around me. Now these young punks gang up on my right side. They shove me off balance and totally bulldoze paths to wreck me. They ruin my road, pushing my downfall even further. And like, nobody's there to help. They rush in like floodwaters breaking loose, waves of destruction crashing over me again and again. Terrors got me surrounded, chasing my soul like a storm wind. My peace, gone. My hope, vanished like a passing cloud. My soul's just melting inside me. Misery's got its claws deep in me now. All night long my bones ache, like every nerve's on fire, and there's zero rest anywhere. My sickness twists my clothes around me. It's like my body's fighting itself, choking me in my own collar. God's tossed me straight into the mud. Now I'm just dust and ashes, barely even human anymore. I'm calling out to you, but you're not even answering. I stand up hoping you'll notice me, but nothing. You've turned harsh on me, God. Your mighty hand feels like it's pushing me down instead of holding me up. You toss me up into the storm winds, make me ride them till I'm dizzy, and then I just fall apart. I know you're gonna bring me to death eventually, the same house everyone else ends up in. But like, you don't reach out to stop anyone from sliding into the grave, even when they're screaming for help. Didn't I cry for those who were hurting? Didn't my heart break for the poor? I looked for good things to happen, but evil came instead. I waited for light and got hit with darkness. My guts twist nonstop. Misery's got me on a loop. I can't escape. I walk around mourning, no sunlight in sight, crying out loud in public because I just can't keep it in. Now I'm like family with the dragons and BFFs with the owls, just hanging with the creatures of the night. My skin's burned and blackened. My bones are on fire. It's like I'm wasting away from the inside. My harp only plays sad songs now, and the music that used to bring joy, it's all weeping tunes. Job chapter 31. I made this sacred promise with my eyes. Like, why would I even let my mind wander toward another woman? Because seriously, what reward does God give for crossing those lines? What kind of blessing would that be from the Almighty? Isn't destruction the destiny of the wicked? And serious judgment waiting for those who mess around with sin? Doesn't God see every step I take and keep track of all my moves? If I've ever walked in lies or hurried into shady business, then may God weigh me on His perfect scale. He'll see my integrities still balanced. If I've wandered off the right path, followed my eyes into temptation, or let corruption stain my hands, then fine. Let someone else eat what I've worked for. Let my harvest be ripped away, and my family line end there. If my heart ever chased after another woman, or I lurked around my neighbor's door trying to pull something, then, yeah, let my wife belong to another. Let others take what should have been mine. Because that'd be totally vile. A crime so serious it deserves full-on judgment from the courts. Because that kind of sin burns everything. It's a wildfire that devours your life and wipes out everything you've built. If I ever dissed my workers or blew them off when they had a complaint, then what would I even say when God calls me out? How could I defend myself when He checks in? I mean, the same God who made me in the womb made them too. He shaped us both from the same start, you know? If I ever denied the poor what they needed, or made a widow lose hope, if I ever ate my food all by myself and didn't share it with orphans who had nobody else. 'Cause honestly, from when I was a kid, I treated the fatherless like family and looked out for widows like a mom would. If I saw someone freezing or struggling without clothes, and they couldn't bless me for helping, or didn't get warm wearing wool from my own sheep, if I ever raised a hand against an orphan, just because I knew I had influence and could win in court, then may my arm straight up fall off my shoulder. May it snap clean from the bone. 'Cause honestly, the thought of God's power freaks me out. It's like His majesty is so intense, I couldn't even stand against it. If I ever made gold my security blanket, or told my stash of silver, "You're the one I trust." If I ever bragged about my massive success, thinking I earned it all myself, if I ever stared at the sun shining or the moon glowing and thought, "Wow, maybe that's where power lives," if my heart ever secretly got seduced into that kind of idle talk, or I blew a kiss to the sky in some weird cosmic flattery, then yeah, that'd be a total crime deserving judgment. 'Cause that would mean I denied the God who's way above everything. If I ever cheered when my haters fell apart, or threw a party when bad stuff happened to them, I didn't even let my mouth slip into cursing them. Like, not even a petty karma got you moment. If the people in my house didn't say, "Man, we can't get enough of his food, he's always sharing." 'Cause like, no stranger ever had to crash outside. I always made room for travelers at my place. If I ever tried to cover up my mistakes like Adam did, hiding my guilt deep down inside, if I stayed quiet out of fear of what the crowd might say, or worried what the neighbors would think, so I kept my head down and stayed home. Ugh. I just wish someone would actually listen. My dream, that the Almighty Himself would answer me, and that my accuser would put everything in writing. I'd wear that book like a badge of honor, sling it over my shoulder, or rock it like a crown on my head. I'd totally walk right up to God and tell Him every step I've taken, like a prince standing confident before his king. If my land cries out against me, or the fields complain about how I've treated them, if I've ever eaten the harvest without paying for it, or cheated the farmers out of their due, then let weeds choke out my wheat, and nasty thorns take over my barley. And yeah, that's it. Job's words are totally done. Job chapter 32. So those three dudes totally stopped arguing with Job, because he was all convinced he was super righteous in his own eyes. But then, bam! This young guy, Elihu the son of Barachel the Buzite, totally lost his chill. He was so mad at Job for justifying himself instead of God. And he was also ticked at Job's three buddies, cause even though they couldn't clap back with a good answer, they still acted all judgy toward him. Elihu had been keeping quiet, though, waiting his turn since the other guys were older and all. Respect for elders, you know. But when he realized the three of them had nothing left to say, oh man, he just straight up burned with anger inside. Then Elihu, the son of Barachel the Buzite, said, okay, so, I'm young and you guys are super old. I was totally scared to say my piece, cause who am I to talk, right? I figured the older you are, the wiser you'd be, that years should, drop some major wisdom bombs. But turns out, it's actually the spirit inside people, and the inspiration that comes straight from the Almighty, that gives them real understanding. So just because someone's famous or seasoned doesn't mean they're actually wise, and age doesn't automatically equal good judgment. That's why I'm saying, seriously, listen up, I've got something to say too. So, I legit waited for you guys to finish talking. I listened super carefully while you searched your brains for something deep to say. I paid full attention for real, but not one of you actually proved Job wrong or gave a decent comeback to his words. Don't go acting like you've got all the wisdom now, saying, oh, God must have shut him down. Nah, that wasn't you guys. It was totally not man who did it. Job didn't come for me personally, so I'm not even gonna use your same tired arguments. I've got my own words. Thanks. Then everyone just stood there in total shock. No more comebacks, no more words. Total awkward silence. Bro, I waited a sec, but yeah, they were done. Just standing there all quiet, totally out of steam. So I was like, okay, my turn. I'm gonna speak now and share my own thoughts. Dude, I'm seriously full of stuff to say. Like, the spirit inside me is bursting to get out. It's like my insides are a bottle of fizzy wine with no vent, ready to pop at any second. Bottle with popping cork. I gotta speak up or I'm gonna lose it. I'll open my mouth and finally let it all flow. And just so you know, I'm not here to flatter anyone or play favorites, okay? 'Cause I don't do fake compliments. If I started doing that, my maker would probably just zap me on the spot. Job chapter 33. So Job, dude, listen up, okay? I need you to actually hear me out and pay attention to what I'm about to say. I've opened my mouth, my tongue's moving, and yeah, it's go time. Everything I'm saying is coming from a sincere heart, straight up truth and clarity from my lips. The Spirit of God's the one who made me, bro, and the breath of the Almighty's what gives me life. If you think you can answer me, then line up your words and stand your ground, man. I'm just like you, made out of clay, shaped by God's hands, so you don't gotta freak out. Seriously, no reason to be scared, dude. I'm not here to crush you or throw shade. So, I totally heard what you said. I was right there listening when you spoke. You were like, I'm innocent. I've done nothing wrong. I'm pure. No sin here. But then you said, God's just looking for reasons to come at me. He's treating me like his enemy. You said, he's got my feet locked in stocks, tracking every step I take like some cosmic ankle monitor. But, dude, You're totally missing it. I'm telling you straight up, God's way bigger than any man. Why are you even arguing with him? Like, he doesn't owe you an explanation for every single thing he does. God's actually speaking all the time. Once, twice, maybe more. But people are just too distracted to notice. Sometimes it's through dreams or late-night visions when you're deep asleep and totally out cold. That's when he opens your ears and drops some divine downloads, sealing in wisdom like a secret message. He does it to pull people back from their sketchy plans and to chill out their pride before it takes them down. He's literally saving their soul from the pit and keeping them from getting taken out by the sword. And yeah, sometimes he lets them get sick or stuck in bed, aching all over, so they actually stop and think. Like, they're so done with life, they can't even look at food. Even the fancy stuff grosses them out. Their body starts wasting away, till you can see the bones poking through. It's rough, man, super rough. So yeah, his soul's hanging by a thread, super close to the grave, and his life surrounded by destroyer vibes. But if there's even one messenger, someone rare, 1 in 1,000, who can show him what's actually right, then God's like, yo, spare that dude. Don't let him fall into the pit. I've already covered the bill. Next thing you know, his skin's glowing fresher than a baby's. Like, full youth mode reboot. He prays to God, and God totally vibes with him again, smiles down, all chill and forgiving, and restores him to right standing. The man looks around and says, okay, I messed up. I twisted what was right, and it totally did me no good. And God's like, no worries, I got you, pulling his soul back from the pit so he can live in the light again. See, God does this kind of thing all the time. He's constantly giving people second chances. He pulls them out of darkness just so they can soak up the light and live fully again. So listen close, Job, my dude. Just zip it for a sec and hear me out. If you've got something to say, go for it. I'm all ears. I actually want to see you come out clean in this. But if not, just chill and let me talk, 'cause I'm about to drop some major wisdom your way. Job chapter 34. So Elihu kept going, and he was all, hey, you wise dudes, listen up. Anyone who actually knows what's up, lend me your ears. You know how your mouth can tell good food from bad? Yeah. Well, your ears should do the same thing with words. Let's totally figure out what's right here. Let's actually vibe on what's good and fair. Job's been saying, I'm totally righteous, but God's been treating me unfairly. Like, why should I lie about being right? My wound's huge, and I didn't even do anything wrong. Man, who even talks like Job? He just slurps up criticism like it's water. He hangs with shady people and acts like those who totally blow off what's right. He's even said stuff like, it's pointless to try to please God. Bro, what? So listen up, all you smart folks. No way, like, absolutely no way, would God ever do something wicked. Everyone gets what's coming to them. Plain and simple. God makes sure people reap what they sow. For real, God doesn't mess with justice, and the Almighty never twists what's fair. So who even put God in charge of the earth? Oh, right, no one. He's just always been running the show. If he decided to pull back his spirit and breath, reclaiming his life force, boom, every living thing would drop, and humanity would just turn back into dust. Poof. If you've got any brains at all, you should totally listen up right now and catch what I'm saying. Like, seriously, can someone who hates what's right really be in charge? Are you gonna accuse the most just being ever of being unfair? You wouldn't even tell a king, yo, you're evil, or say to a prince, you're trash, would you? So how much less could you say that to God? He doesn't play favorites. He treats the rich and poor the same, 'cause he made them all, dude. At any second, bam, they can all drop. Midnight panic hits, people disappear, and the mighty get taken out with no one even lifting a hand. He's got eyes on everyone's path. He sees every move, every step, every secret plan. There's literally nowhere to hide, not even in the darkest cave or the shadow of death itself, where bad dudes can sneak away from him. God's not gonna dump more on people than what's fair. No one can drag him into court and be like, hey, that's unjust. He can totally crush the powerful whenever he wants and just swap them out for someone else. No shortage of replacements. He sees everything they're up to, and in the middle of the night, boom, he flips their world upside down. He smacks down the wicked right in front of everyone. No hiding, no pretending. And why? 'Cause they ditched him, stopped caring about what he stands for. So when the poor cry out for help, he hears them. He's not ignoring their pain. When God decides to give peace, who's gonna stir up chaos? And when he hides his face, who's gonna find him? He can flip things for a whole nation, or just one person. That way, the fakers and phonies don't end up running the show and trapping everyone in their mess. It's only right for someone to say, okay, God, I messed up. I've taken my hits, and I won't keep screwing up. If I don't see what I did wrong, teach me. If I've been shady, I'm done with it. So should God run the world just to fit your vibes, dude? He's gonna do what's right, whether you like it or not. So, if you've got something smart to say, spill it. Hey, all you wise bros, tell me what you think. Any real thinker should totally get what I'm saying. 'Cause Job's been talking without actually knowing what he's saying. His words are, super lacking in wisdom. Honestly, I kinda wish Job would be tested all the way through. 'Cause the stuff he's been saying, it totally sounds like he's backing up the bad guys. He's just stacking rebellion on top of sin, clapping his hands, acting smug, and tossing way too many words against God. Job chapter 35. So Elihu kept talking and was like, dude, do you seriously think it's cool to say stuff like, I'm more righteous than God? 'Cause no way that checks out. You've been saying, what's even the point? What's in it for me if I stop sinning and clean up my act? Bro, come on. Alright, I'm gonna drop some truth bombs for you and your buddies. So listen up. Look up at the sky, man. See how high those clouds are? Yeah, that's way above you. If you mess up and sin a ton, it's not like you're hurting God directly. He's not up there stressing out over your mistakes. And if you're all righteous, it's not like he's cashing in on your good vibes. He's not depending on your good behavior. Your bad choices hurt other humans, and your good ones help them. That's where it all plays out, dude. People cry out cause of oppression and power trips, but they're just whining about pain without actually looking deeper. Like, no one's saying, hey, where's God, my maker? The one who drops songs in the night when things get heavy. He's the one who teaches us more than animals and makes us smarter than birds. Like, come on, that's some serious design. But people still cry out and get no answer, 'cause their pride's in the way, and evil keeps fogging up their hearts. God doesn't waste time listening to empty noise. He's not tuning in to vanity radio. Even when you're like, I can't see him. Dude, his justice is still rolling. So chill and trust that he's got this. But now, 'cause people don't get that, he's ticked. And Job doesn't even realize how deep that goes. So Job just keeps talking, saying a bunch of stuff, without really knowing what he's talking about.